You're listening to the BBM Global Network with 25 years in broadcast audio and video production. Our passionate team creates content and marketing for the world of Internet Talk Radio. If you've got a passion, come join us at bbmglobalnetwork.com. The BBM Global Network. Your voice is now heard.
Welcome to The Oracle, a voice of positive planetary change with your host, Dr. Aurora Juliana Ariel. Listen as Aurora brings good news to an awakening world and sacred healing using powerful and transformational tools. So now, please welcome the host of The Oracle, Dr. Aurora Ariel.
Aloha, everyone, and welcome to the Oracle, a voice of positive planetary change. I'm your host, Dr. Aurora Juliana Ariel, and we're broadcasting live across the planet on BBM Global Network and TuneIn Radio. Thank you so much for joining me. The topic of our show today is TheQuest, Heal Your Life, Change Your Destiny, a life mastery path to self-discovery, self-actualization, and self-empowerment. And I'll be bringing you alchemical keys to living a miraculous, abundant life, realizing your greater potential, and fulfilling a higher destiny than the fate your human programs would dictate. I have a wonderful guest, Turiya Vallis, that will be with me after the break. And so let me tell you a little bit about TheQuest. It is a breakthrough psychological or soul healing system I developed that I not only train people in who want to become certified life coaches and counselors, I created a 7-step self-healing system that people around the world can easily resolve issues, quickly restoring themselves back to their authentic self, which is an essential key to us traversing the coming times and the most important thing we can do if we want to help birth an age of freedom, enlightenment, and peace. First, we have to be living it, and then it will inspire others to do the same, and then we're going to see even more miracles taking place across the earth. If you've been tuning into my monthly Global Healing Forum on Awakening Heart Network, the telesummit interviews and appearances at conferences, you'll know that I give this teaching, and it's so essential, that being in our authentic selves opens the gateways to the abundant life. Okay, so if we want to be living a more abundant life, we've got to be in our authentic self. That's the part of us that can restore Eden on earth, the part of us that is that living spirit that manifests all good things in our lives. And when we're in that consciousness, we're in that kingdom of heaven, you could say, that consciousness of the divine, and we're living a very different life even while on earth than if we're running in the human programs. So this is one of the greatest teachings I bring and one of the most landmark things I've found from my years of pioneering work and research in the psyche. So if you want something really fast and a simple way to create heaven on earth in your life experience, I have this story that I'm about to share, and you will see how profoundly impactful, enlightening, and life-changing this work can be. So to set the framework for the show today, I'm going to read you an excerpt from my book, Earth 2012-33, The Violet Age, A Return to Eden, about a truly life-changing, illuminating session I did using the Quest 7 steps. I hope it'll inspire you to give the Quest a try, and you can get my free book, The Quest, Heal Your Life, Change Your Destiny, when you sign up for my newsletters on my website, aurorajulianaariel.com. So here's the story. I was in a deep inner process I call the Quest, addressing a pattern that had emerged like a dark night. As I traced the history and healed the self-judgments that had set the pattern in motion, I came to step 5. How had this pattern served me? What was the gift? Immediately, I found myself standing in a room with ethereal white walls. It was right before this life, a vivid experience beyond memory, physical sensations flowing through me. A daunting feeling welled up from inside me. I was going to Earth. I walked up to a full-length mirror and saw a radiant woman of exquisite beauty reflected back to me, wearing a flowing iridescent gown over silken pants. Her eyes reminded me of dancing fire. I thought, it's going to be a very long time before I remember who I am again, if I ever remember once I'm on Earth. It took a long moment to drink that in. Then I turned and walked through the doorway, entering a spacious room with a high domed ceiling. I stopped halfway and stood in silence. A council of illumined beings looked down upon my solitary figure. "What is your intention?" a silent voice asked. "Purity," I replied after a moment's reflection, "to bring out my pure essence." I flashed forward and saw myself with countless others entering the earth, wave upon wave of determined souls. What lay before us was a huge undertaking. First, we'd undergo the planetary amnesia inherent to Earth inhabitants. Then we would need to extricate ourselves from a host of human patterns to fulfill the grand plan. By bringing forth our true illumined selves, our mission would be fulfilled. The future continued to flash before my eyes, the time we would be born into, the dire potentials we would face, and then it hit me. What we were really doing, what our sojourn was really about, was terraforming the earth with a light consciousness, a regenesis that would birth a new world. This powerful mission we had all come to fulfill. And so it has begun. We are here, millions encoded with the vision of a transformed world, and it is daunting. For the unconsciousness that we were born into with its archaic ideologies and systems feels like a solid obstacle at times, a mountain of adversity that must be overcome to make room for the new world. Sometimes I have worked too hard to do my part, overwhelmed and overtaxed, and then falling under the weight of my human consciousness, I've wondered, is it worth it? All this wear and tear on my heart, mind, and soul, all the heartbreaks and setbacks, why did I take on so much? With so many, oh, wow, I was just reading this and then it just disappeared. Okay, thanks for holding with me. With so many human patterns strangling me, blocking my true essence, I have found it was so hard at times to be who I really am on Earth. Then I remember the driven way I've attempted to fulfill my mission, the weight I've taken on to accomplish great deeds, humanitarian endeavors and projects, is a human programming that must be healed, along with all the other patterns that have caused suffering and strife in our world. So I make that familiar journey to the place within where the shadow self dwells, and with the quest, I heal the overtaxed, overwhelmed inner aspect, the subpersonalities holding the pattern, and I set myself free. This is a work of a lifetime, I remember again, as I regain my authentic self-awareness, and for a time I dwell in that illumined consciousness, anchoring its pure essence throughout my being. I laugh, realizing how simple it all is, and how caught up I've been in fulfilling a grand plan when from this conscious state of being, miracles abound and planetary service becomes effortless, because it is the miracle consciousness, this inner place that is so hard to find sometimes. Everything slows down to a surreal sense of peace and rightness about my life, my destiny, and the future that is being birthed in and through me. I recognize I am the grand plan. We are the plan. And altogether, our awakening is the unseen hand at a planetary destiny so vast and incomprehensible, it is changing the earth from within. First within, then without. Finding a way to extricate myself from the human conditioning that has plagued my life birthed TheQuest, a remedy for a world in travail. Remembering who I am, who we are, is essential now. The most important thing I can do to help change the world is remembrance. And then being who I am, I relax, feeling the rightness of my struggles and what a powerful ally TheQuest is once again. When I bring on my guests, you're going to see this is a woman on fire as well. So we're heading into the break right now, and we have a lot to share when we get back. This is Aurora Juliana Ariel, broadcasting live on BBM Global Network and TuneIn Radio. And so we will be right back.
Have you been dreaming of that ideal getaway? A sacred adventure where you are completely restored and renewed. Join Dr. Aurora Juliana Ariel for her Mastery Intensive Red Rock Adventure in Sedona in May, or the Oracle Sacred Destiny Cruise through the ancient temples of Italy, Greece, and Turkey in September. Want to know what to expect in the coming times? Read her award-winning Earth 2012 to 33 books. Sign up for her newsletter to stay abreast of all her offerings, healing specials, Earth 2012 to 33 updates, insights from the Oracle, secrets of eternal youth, and more at aurorajulianaariel.com. Ready to realize a greater potential? Experience her 33-day self-actualization programs, healing music for an awakening world, or healing activations available under products. Ready for a total life transformation? Sign up for her one-year program. Want a distance healing from Aurora? Check out her virtual healing center with its wide array of healing modalities and skilled healers under Healing Menu at sacredalchemy.com.
Welcome back to The Oracle, a voice of positive planetary change. We're broadcasting live on BBM Global Network and TuneIn Radio, and I'm your host, Dr. Aurora Juliana Ariel. Our topic today is The Quest, Heal Your Life, Change Your Destiny, a life mastery path to self-discovery, self-actualization, and self-empowerment. And my guest, Turiya Vallis, and I are going to give you the alchemical keys to living a miraculous, abundant life, realizing your greater potential and fulfilling a higher destiny than the fate your human programs would dictate. Turiya Vallis is the co-founder and host of Awakening Heart Network, and someone I love sharing these the global healing forums I do on their network, and all of the times we've done telesummit interviews, and now she's been on the show quite a bit, and starting April is going to be here with us each time. She is someone who has loved incorporating the quest into her life, and as many of you know, I would not live without this healing technology. It's been my greatest ally and saving grace so many times. It's incredible to fall under the weight of the human conditions and then in minutes be back in the peace and empowerment of my authentic self. And living like this creates an extraordinary life because session upon session, as we practice the 7 steps and heal the human momentums, programs, and blocks, the byproduct is we are in our true nature most often, and this is the miracle consciousness that makes all the magic happen. And when you master the Quest 7 steps, it's very easy to quickly resolve every issue, heal every pattern, and change the challenging conditions of your life. So I'm really excited to introduce Turiya and bring her on. She's been privileged to interview some of the most transformational spiritual healers on the planet and loves to help people remember the truth of who they are and what they are and awaken to their own inner divine. She's also a pretty amazing and award-winning singer and songwriter. I love her music, author, and behavioral therapist. Turiya, I am so excited to have you on the show today, and especially because you love the quest and you've experienced it, and I think you love it as much as I love it.
Absolutely, Aurora. I am so excited to be here and talking about the quest, and I want to say greetings to everybody. You are in for a treat today because Aurora has distilled and refined a way of working with the inner aspects that allows for so much energy to be freed up that instantly your life changes. So when this work happens, what happens next after you finish on the outside is so amazingly different, and that's what we want. We've all come for the change. We all are here right now to allow for things to happen in the best and highest way possible. And I know I'm nothing else, and I've studied aspect work like 20 years before meeting Aurora. I was studying aspect work, and then when she introduced me to the quest, I was like, wow, this is profound, because no one has brought this together in such an amazing way that heals so quickly and so vastly. Aurora, that's another thing. It's not just that it's fast, it's that it's vast with a V. You know what I mean? It touches all these areas that are really important. So I'm so grateful that we're here today talking about this and that everyone is going to get to experience this. So buckle up, guys. You're in for a treat. It's an amazing ride.
Yeah, you want to catch one of our past shows, the teleseminar I did on the quest, and I've taken Turiya before, and so we have those in our archives and available on the website. So Today we're in 8-minute segments, so we're going to see what we can do to give you a feeling. But basically, the quest gives you a pretty comprehensive journey of self-discovery where you awaken and where you come back into being your true authentic self. And so the basic thing is that when we're having an adverse feeling, when we're upset and out of sorts and angry or whatever it is, heartbroken, that's really a subconscious aspect that has been below our conscious awareness, down in there, actually creating havoc in our life. And it's been below our conscious awareness, so we didn't realize it might have been bringing in those very hard relationships or creating financial distress or health issues. So it's really exciting when the emotional piece comes up, and then you can actually get a visual image of that part of you. And when you do that in step one, you're actually right there and then gaining mastery over your psychology. You're no longer being run by the emotional aspect and believing that's who you are and how you feel. You are now stepping back into your authentic self and embracing a part of you that has been wounded, that's running programs, that has belief systems, and then you're going to take that part through the 7 steps. So this is a very essential key because most of humanity has not had mastery. And so everybody's been pretty much run all day long by their programs passed down by family lines in society, and thinking that's who they are. So wouldn't you say, Turiya, one of the really greatest dilemmas on our planet has been that people have not been living out of their true authentic selves. They've been really run by subconscious aspects and yet believing that's who they are. They are that angry person. They are that jealous person. They are that worthless person that doesn't deserve a good relationship, or that mess up person.
I think that's really, really key. Folks do not have a greater sense of awareness to be able to see themselves and to understand what this all looks like in terms of the family lineage, and where they also may have existed in other places. And, of course, the family lineage is the easiest to touch on. So, in therapy, traditional therapy, you can go back generations and see family systems that come down. Maybe you're acting like your auntie, and maybe your auntie was acting like your great-grandmother, and maybe great-grandma got this all from another distant relative. We don't know that it actually is coming from another place. We think it's us. It actually, so much of it is patterns which were not resolved, unresolved patterns which have come into play, which are seeking resolve through us in this moment. We don't know it, we can't see it, and so it just runs and runs and runs, hoping that it can get some resolution. And Aurora, I think that's the key. It's the awareness of the fact that this is what's actually happening.
Yeah, and I think it was interesting that I was guided from that excerpt from my book to read today, because I forgot all about that I was before this life, like all of us were, and I'm looking in the mirror and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, this might be the last time I remember who I am for a long, long time. And isn't it true? I mean, we came in and it hit pretty hard coming into such an archaic planet, and the belief systems going on here and nobody living in their authentic selves, and we went under amnesia and we forgot. So we have some great keys that we're bringing forth today to help you unlock the mystery of who you are, and we'll be getting more into that shortly. So I just want to say thanks for being here with us. You're on the Oracle, a voice of positive planetary change, and I'm your host, Dr. Aurora Juliana Ariel, and we're broadcasting live on BBM Global Network and TuneIn Radio. So we're going to be right back with some great information for you. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the Oracle, a voice of positive planetary change. We're broadcasting live on BBM Global Network and TuneIn Radio, and I'm your host, Dr. Aurora Juliana Ariel. Turiya Vallis and I of Awakening Heart Network are talking about the quest and the very importance of doing inner shadow work now, because the reason being is humanity's lived forever out of the shadow self. driven all day long with patterns and momentums, belief systems playing out, and all the havoc and all the travail we've seen on Earth and all the problems. So humanity living unconsciously begets a planet of great distress and troubles. And it's really the time of the return to our authentic selves now. And we, the ones that came from the higher realms of light into the earth at this time, are here to pave the way. So this year more than ever is such a critical point in time. We've got to be more awake, more aware than ever, and really committed to clearing the way so that our authentic self, our true nature, can be shining forth its light to the world, bring forth its vision, and manifest heaven on earth in our life experiences. So before the break, we were talking about that dilemma of the soul kind of going under amnesia and forgetting who they are. And I'm sure most of you listening, if I asked you, who are you? Would you tell me exactly? I'm this being of light that came from these realms, and I'm here to do this mission and, what you're all about? Or would you say I'm a secretary working here or a healer working there? What is the truth? Who are you really? And if you're interested in that, you're going to want to uncover the jewels and gems of who you really are. And one of the fastest ways to do it is to heal and transform all that you are not. So as you have aspects coming forward and they're all in upset and they are running patterns or bringing in certain life situations that are unpleasant, as you heal them, you will be restored back to yourself. And that's what happens in the transfiguration of the seventh step. Turiya, do you have any recall of any shift like that in your own life when you've used the quest, like maybe buying into whatever's going on or the dilemma of it, and then how you felt afterwards, like within minutes, where were you at the end, and how different was your vantage point on the situation?
Oh, absolutely. And I think that's the key. I think that everyone who does the quest and who uses the quest could tell you that what you feel is immediate, everybody. You feel an immediate shift. And what happens is that I personally feel like I get energy back and I expand. And so there'll be an aspect. I'll go in and I'll work. And sometimes it's been like digging through a mountain, like with a shovel. And I'm just digging. And these aspects, they open up. And then the next thing you know, the whole thing just flows through and you have so much awareness. It's pure energy. You have a part of yourself. You don't go into that particular phase of involvement. So let's say before I might have been working with a certain emotion, and then I go in and find an aspect that had a really big hold on that emotion, and I'll release these huge aspects. And what will happen is that I'm free from that energy. And it doesn't mean that something won't come along and maybe try to make me have it, but I'm not that person anymore. I don't react that way anymore, and I have energy back. And so the key is that I feel instantly shifted. Like when I finish, and even when I go in back to do the next one, I, would just go through a few in a day. At this point, I can do just one at a time, and it makes a huge shift. But when I was first starting working with the quest, like I found books and pictures, and it's like, oh, this is all my quest work, and it's huge. And now I'm at a point where I can just do one a day. And you know what happens? Immediately I get a level of intelligence back. I get a level of emotional stability back. I get power back. And so I noticed that aspect was holding onto something. It was holding a place that was divinely mine. And as that aspect drew my attention to where this energy was wrapped up in a miscreated way, it unravels and it allows that aspect freedom and transformation. So I feel it immediately. I feel it in a physical way. I feel it in an emotional way, and the patterns don't come back. They do not come back, and I feel changed.
It's so miraculous. I mean, so many times I've been in the throes of, the whole human condition and all wrought up, and then I'm doing the 7 steps, and immediately it's like, I'm back to who I really am. And sometimes I'll go look in the mirror and I'll say, I'm back, and it's so exciting. And I never knew, I'd created this method for my own survival through the travails of Earth. And I had a particularly challenging package I took on coming to Earth. And, I needed to get back to peace, but not in a way of spiritual bypassing, a way that went into the shadow and healed and transformed it. And I find there's just so many jewels. Like if I'm dealing with some like lack financially or something like that, and I find the aspect in charge of that lack who doesn't believe she's deserving of the abundant life, that for whatever religious programming through the millennia or whatever she took on, she's in the mode of we can't have that. And so here she's been operating in my unconscious, dictating that reality to my life and taking over the spot where my authentic self should be at the command center of my being, dictating a higher fate, a higher destiny. And so as she's transformed, all of a sudden everything shifts. I mean, I just sometimes get a phone call, and the abundance pours in, and it's miraculous to see the fast changes when we clear the inner programs, creating the outer messes. So in step 2 of the quest, it really takes your aspect through every level and area of your life, from mental, emotional, physical, health-wise, career, financial, and also with the spiritual aspect, and how they've been adversely affecting your life. And it's shocking when you do that piece and you find out, oh my gosh, and then it's like, eureka, I found a part of me that's creating all this. Now I can undo it from within and I can set myself free. All right, we're going to keep going here, but we've got to take a little break. This is Aurora Juliana Ariel speaking to you live across the planet on BBM Global Network and TuneIn Radio on the Oracle, a voice of positive planetary change. We're going to be right back.
Have you been dreaming of that ideal getaway? A sacred adventure where you are completely restored and renewed. Join Dr. Aurora Juliana Ariel for her Mastery Intensive Red Rock Adventure in Sedona in May, or the Oracle Sacred Destiny Cruise through the ancient temples of Italy, Greece, and Turkey in September. Want to know what to expect in the coming times? Read her award-winning Earth 2012-33 books. Sign up for her newsletter to stay abreast of all her offerings, healing specials, Earth 2012-33 updates, insights from the Oracle, secrets of eternal youth, and more at aurorajulianaariel.com. Ready to realize a greater potential? Experience her 33-day self-actualization programs, healing music for an awakening world, or healing activations available under products. Ready for a total life transformation? Sign up for her 1-year program. Want a distance healing from Aurora? Check out her virtual healing center with its wide array of healing modalities and skilled healers under Healing Menu at sacredalchemy.com.
Welcome back to the Oracle, a voice of positive planetary change. If you like to hear the good news, please tune in with me every week, Thursdays, on BBM Global Network. So we're broadcasting live and also on TuneIn Radio. And I'm your host, Dr. Aurora Juliana Ariel. Turiya Vallis and I from Awakening Heart Network, we are bringing you the keys of alchemy of how to transform your life, how to move out of being a human drone running your programs all day long to clearing those quickly in minutes, and at each junction, at each interval, as things arise to get cleared, you are transforming it and stepping into the next level of your true authentic self and bringing your talents, your vision, your gifts, and your empowerment to this world. And it really needs you. So everyone who's listening, spread the word on this show, please, because it's such a joy to bring you this healing technology. So Turiya and I are talking about the effects of doing it and how fast it is and how much is being affected by these aspects. If you think of human populations for millennia upon millennia of all the histories that are known and how the world has looked, that's because of human programs. In the allegorical, the ancient memories, I guess, people have about the Garden of Eden and some of the ancient texts that speak of it, There was a time when people lived in their authentic selves all the time. There wasn't the shadow self. And this fragmentation occurred at a certain point, and I'm not really sure. I have some ideas from working with so many people and healing so much in their psyches of that Lemurian time when things kind of went into a descent and people's consciousness shifted. And so, but some of the biblical things that are said is it was a time of plenty, it was abundant life, everything was provided. Well, that's what the authentic self does. And you can see the very difference of when the authentic self has not been in the equation, how much toiling and troubles we go through and illness and sickness. And we're living like such small, shortened lives when people were in these longer lives. So this is so essential that we do this return to authentic selfhood, and we have a technology where we can actually do the work fast and get back to who we are and have very minimal downtime. Turiya, I think that's one of the things I love the best about this work is I've been able to minimize the downtime. So instead of just being all wrought up and anxious for days over something, I can do the 7 steps and then I am back. And then maybe the next day, you get the next phone call and you take another dip and you do the next piece and you're back. And I've walked through dark night of the soul periods that went months of a lot of tragedies and things playing out and losses. And people looked at me like they couldn't believe how I was going through this, staying in so much peace, so much harmony most of the time. And I would tell them, look, I'm falling under the weight of this. But then in minutes, I'm back because I'm healing and transforming it. Have you found that too in your own life? Like now that you're mastering the quest and you're doing it faster and faster, that it literally took out like such a big quotient of misery out of your life and suffering?
Yeah, and I think that's a really key point. It took out so much that if you look at it like a bunch of confusion in a bowl, like there was a bunch of confusion in a bowl that people hold within them as their preconditioned ideas, their belief systems, the problems within the subconscious which create what we have in our lives. I once heard somebody say, if you want to know what you have, if you want to know what your true wish is for your world, take a look at what you already have. Because what you have is a reflection of what's coming out of the subconscious. And when you first start this work, it's intense. And it's not difficult. Mind you, it's not difficult. But you get these aspects they were huge and kind of looming, and they had so much energy to release. And so a person, aspect after aspect after aspect after aspect gets cleared. And so in that bowl, there's far less confusion. There's far less distortion. There's far less the problematic stuff. And so then you begin to go in and you can do the clearing faster. You have less trouble to work with. There's not a lot of stuff. And everybody who is on this planet has some kind of aspect work to do. And it doesn't matter. You're here, the work is there because you have generations of people behind you. And even when we think we're in one place, there's always a place where we can get better and better and better. And so this healing helps for us, for our children, for our families. When we do it on ourselves, things happen around people that like I've worked on myself in particular issues, and it gets easier and easier and easier, and so do my relationships. Everything has gotten better. It's all cleared up, and it starts to smoothly sail. It's just like smooth flying. So absolutely, the clearing is phenomenal. And then when you do it, it just continues to clear and just go even faster. And I love that about it.
Yeah, I love it too. And one of my greatest joys is in the one-year programs that I give. So I train life coach counselors and certify them over 1 year. And the method I use is very experiential, where I'm passing them knowledge as they undergo, the challenges in their life. And then every week they're getting a session. So I'm helping them clear their life and come into their authentic self and on their highest destiny path so that they are able then to be that presence for others in the future. And I'm also training them in how to do the quest 7 steps and master it, be a master of it, as well as being a master life coach counselor. And the other programs, the Sacred Alchemist and Total Life Transformation, are similar, but I'm not giving the training. They are just receiving, but also the Sacred Alchemist 1 year, they are mastering their own psychology. And what I find is so fascinating because when people enter the program, they really think they know who they are, but they don't have the best opinion of themselves. And then as they're going through the year, it's like mind-blowing to them as they wake up to who they really are and they gain ground in being that true authentic self most often. And as they gain the mastery and the skills of how to do this work as things arise, rather than delving and sitting in it and being angry for 8 weeks and upset forever about things, it's quite extraordinary to see this whole transformation occur. And they're not even the same person, but they are their true, amazing, authentic self. All right, well, we even have more to come. So stay tuned with us. We are on the Oracle, a voice of positive planetary change, broadcasting live on BBM Global Network and TuneIn Radio. And I'm your host, Dr. Aurora Juliana Ariel, and I'm with Turiya Vallis of the Awakening Heart Network. And we're going to be right back with even more.
Have you been dreaming of that ideal getaway? A sacred adventure where you are completely restored and renewed. Join Dr. Aurora Juliana Ariel for her Mastery Intensive Red Rock Adventure in Sedona in May, or the Oracle Sacred Destiny Cruise through the ancient temples of Italy, Greece, and Turkey in September. Want to know what to expect in the coming times? Read her award-winning Earth 2012 to 33 books. Sign up for her newsletter to stay abreast of all her offerings, healing specials, Earth 2012 to 33 updates, insights from the Oracle, secrets of eternal youth, and more at aurorajulianaariel.com. Ready to realize a greater potential? Experience her 33-day self-actualization programs, healing music for an awakening world, or healing activations available under products. Ready for a total life transformation? Sign up for her one-year program. Want a distance healing from Aurora? Check out her virtual healing center with its wide array of healing modalities and skilled healers under Healing Menu at sacredalchemy.com.
Welcome back to the Oracle, a voice of positive planetary change. We're broadcasting live on BBM Global Network and TuneIn Radio, and I'm your host, Aurora Juliana Ariel. I'm with Turiya Vallis of the Awakening Heart Network, and we're having such a fun time today because this inner transformation and planetary transformation is our favorite topic. And early on, Turiya learned everything she could to deal with the shadow aspects, and I was doing the same to find a way out of the maze and the matrix, and then I developed this, and when she found it, she's just been rocking it with it. And it's just so glorious to find every week and every day that we do this, we're just on the next level of our authentic self. We have literally transformed aspects that would create a very different and more challenging future, and in moments moved ourselves on a different future line, more beneficent, because those unconscious aspects will not be playing out in the negative sense. They'll be playing out in the higher self sense. And so what we're finding with our monthly global healing forums that Turiya's been hosting the second Saturday of every month on Awakening Heart Network, and I've been bringing in the light of the higher realms and working with the divine ones to do massive clearings for everyone. Massive inner aspects get cleared, massive conditions in the earth are getting transformed with all of us together holding as vessels. And we're finding we're just catapulted to ever new levels of who we truly are, and really gaining a lot of ground from that, and then in between working with the quest. And what we see every time, whether working individually with the quest or in these forums, is that as that future line is dissolving and so much is cleared up from the psyches of humanity that will allow now the authentic self to come forward and manifest its glory, a whole new future line opens up, and we're moving every time, every session someone does, every global forum we come together, we're actually moving ourselves into ever more beneficent futures. And this is the way we chose before coming in, that we would in this time make the change, that we would take on the human programs, and then we would do the inner work, and we would set ourselves and all humanity free, and we would rise on this ascension flame day by day, week by week, year by year, all of us together, us the front runner souls that are here to turn the tide on the dire potentials and move us into a positive future. And this is how we're changing the field. Back to love, back to harmony, back to peace, back to an enlightened way of life. And what I found is that every time you're working with an aspect, it has a link up with even more aspects in your unconscious. So you're not just healing one, you're healing a massive amount. Then linking up in your family lines. So you're helping cleanse your family lines going way back. And any soul destiny, karmas and patterns, vows, wills, intentions taken on, and all those records and memories. And you know, when we hold on to all this stuff and we carry the baggage, look at how people start looking at 50 years old on this planet, weighed down, burdened, so many meds in the cabinet, because this is the stuff that is creating all the ills, including our ill health. And then beyond the family link up in our soul lineage links up with the psyches of humanity, those inner aspects in the psyche, and even beyond in the system of worlds. So what we're seeing in every session, we move ourselves and humanity and our families forward into a more enlightened era. And this is the key to the ascension at this time and to birthing a new world. And Turiya, I know you're committed to that, and all of the people you interview, the amazing, illustrious souls that come on to Awakening Heart Network, you've got your finger on the pulse of this planetary change. Would you agree that the inner work is one of the, besides anchoring in our authentic selves most of the time, is like the most essential key that any of us could be doing to help birth this new world?
Oh, I mean, you hit it right on the nail. Of everybody that I talk to, regardless of the power of the different healers or their different offerings or their different ideas, everyone without a doubt says that you must go in and do the inner work. We've got to do the inner work, and we've got to keep doing the inner work. And granted, the tools are becoming faster and better, and the tools are refining as we are using them, but you can't escape it. You've got to do the work, and the work is continuous. It's staying in the present moment and also understanding what needs to be done at what time. And without a doubt, one of the most profound tools out there that anyone could use at any time is TheQuest. And the reason why is because you just start to memorize it. Like I have it on my phone. I just, I have a pull-up on my phone in case I'm not, and I just, it's all right there. I have it even ready queued right now for us on this call because I want to have it with me. I want to have it quickly available, and I want to make sure that I'm doing all of it quickly. And what you see is that there's a transformation which happens inside of you that allows for a part which was problematic and disturbed and upset. You know by the way you're feeling. You know by the way life is out picturing. You know by the kind of relationships you have. It affects everything from abundance to physical health to relationships to happiness and career path to doing your creativity. All this has to do with inner aspects. How can it be that you do this and then suddenly a relationship clears up? It gets better, or perhaps it moves on and then someone else comes along and that gets better. It's because you've done the work. So doing the inner work is the key, and there's, without a doubt, everyone says this. There's just no way around it. You've got to do the work. So, yeah, Aurora, you're right. That's what it is what it is.
So many people finally caught on because we didn't know this, and so we're all doing spiritual bypass and all kinds of things. But you're right. I've experimented with this for years, where I'll see the tsunami of dire stuff about to crash on my life. I'll go in and I'll do the inner work. I'll do the quest. I emerge, and now instead of a whole devastation, I get this beautiful wave of blessings in my life. I've changed about everything. I've healed 2 incurable illnesses in myself and helped so many others. I've helped free myself from programs of abuse and countless other people, and we can undo everything and free ourselves from the matrix and live in our authentic selves, birthing a new world. And that is what is so exciting. So we're coming up to the break. This is the Oracle, a voice of positive planetary change. I'm your host, Dr. Aurora Juliana Ariel, broadcasting live on BBM Global Network and TuneIn Radio. We'll be right back.
Have you been dreaming of that ideal getaway? A sacred adventure where you are completely restored and renewed. Join Dr. Aurora Juliana Ariel for her Mastery Intensive Red Rock Adventure in Sedona in May, or the Oracle Sacred Destiny Cruise through the ancient temples of Italy, Greece, and Turkey in September. Want to know what to expect in the coming times? Read her award-winning Earth 2012-33 books. Sign up for her newsletter to stay abreast of all her offerings, healing specials, Earth 2012-33 updates, insights from the Oracle, secrets of eternal youth, and more at aurorajulianaariel.com. Ready to realize a greater potential? Experience her 33-day self-actualization programs, healing music for an awakening world, or healing activations available under products. Ready for a total life transformation? Sign up for her one-year program. Want a distance healing from Aurora? Check out her virtual healing center with its wide array of healing modalities and skilled healers under healing menu at sacredalchemy.com.
Welcome back to the Oracle, a voice of positive planetary change, broadcasting live, I think, across the universe, really, and on BBM Global Network and TuneIn Radio. And I'm your host, Dr. Aurora Juliana Ariel. I've just had one of my favorite friends and sacred sisters in the world on, Turiya Vallis of Awakening Heart Network. Oh my gosh. They are doing so much, so you have to go on awakeningheartnetwork.com and get linked up to receive everything from them. They have the most incredible people on their show and lots of offerings and gifts. And they host me every month with the Global Healing Forum, which Turiya always does with me. And we're having amazing miracles on the Global Healing Forum. We are never the same afterwards. We're on a whole nother level because even a more massive amount is getting cleared with the help of the divine ones with us. And so, as they've said over and over, they stayed behind. We are the ones that came. We needed our physical proximity in the earth to make the calls to get the divine assistance. They help. All of us together are in a grand spiritual alliance, and we are creating a new and better world. So if you like what I'm talking about and you like to hear the good news, because that's what I'm bringing every week, please check out all my offerings at aurorajulianaariel.com. You can sign up for my monthly newsletter and you'll receive my free book, TheQuest, Heal Your Life, Change Your Destiny. So you can master how to do this, and it's very fun and very easy. And if you need help, just get a session from me and it'll kind of key you into it more easily. And with that sign up, you'll be able to get 50% off on any of my healing sessions for 33 days. And you can even book little total transformation programs or jump on one of the courses. If you're wanting a sacred adventure that is a total life transformation, please come to my Mastery Intensive here in Sedona in May. I am going to be giving levels 1 and 2 of TheQuest. And level 2 is how to use it in your relationships and use relationships as a path to enlightenment, freedom, and wholeness. It's really a power-packed one. And we're going to be romping around red rock vortexes and having a lot of sacred time in my healing temple here. Or you may want to join me on the Oracle Sacred Destiny Cruise in September. We're going to be sailing and stopping in the ancient temples of Italy, Greece, and Ephesus, an island off Turkey, a safe zone of Turkey, and going into these ancient cultures and delving more deeply into our true authentic self, our true destiny and mission. And there'll be a lot of activations, healing, clearings, and awakening going on. And also, please join us at the second Saturday of each month for the Global Healing Forums on Awakening Heart Network. And then also on my newsletters, there's tons of other things, healing specials every month, all kinds of offerings for you. And I have a whole virtual healing temples set up, a center where you can avail yourself of incredible healings from my different graduates and these incredible healers, from transformational hypnosis with my best friend in the world, Bernadette Jean-Marie, and all this by phone from anywhere in the world, to TheQuest with Leah. And I have a new graduates coming on soon, and by the end of the year we're going to have more available, but we have so many different modalities and kinds of sessions for you that can help quicken you, awaken you, help you actualize your greatest potential, and most importantly, live the highest destiny meant for you, not this fate that's been dictated by the human programs that has been running everyone for too long. So thanks again for joining us. Thank you, Turiya, for being a part of this with me. It is always such a joy to have you. And you've been listening to The Oracle, a voice of positive planetary change, broadcasting live on BBM Global Network and TuneIn Radio. And I'm your host, Dr. Aurora Juliana Ariel. I'm excited about the show next week, delving into some other just exciting topics around love and relationship. And so much to share, and we're going to keep going every week. So please keep joining me, and please spread the news that there's actually good news happening on the planet. I've got my finger on the pulse of that great planetary happening, and it's such a joy for me to bring it to you every week on The Oracle, a voice of positive planetary change.
This has been The Oracle with your host, Dr. Aurora Juliana Ariel. Come join us and listen each week for conscious shifting and a deep and greater awareness on Dr. Aurora Ariel's The Oracle.
You've been listening to the BBM Global Network. The ideas, views, and opinions of this broadcast are those of the participants of the program and are not necessarily the ideas, views, and opinions of the BBM Global Network Company.